Article 18 stipulates specific provisions that are temporary in nature on the first election. The judiciary, legal codes, international agreements, civil service, and other private armies. It stipulates the dates of the first elections for the members of the Congress, the first local elections for the regular elections for the President and Vice President. This article further provides for the continued enforcement of all existing laws with this Constitution, as well as continued exercise of jurisdiction of all courts until otherwise provided by the law. Section 24 mandates that all private armies and other paramilitary groups outside the armed forces of the Philippines be dismantled. An important provision on the expiration of the Military Bases Agreement in 1991 includes the declaration that no foreign military bases, troops, or facilities shall be allowed in the Philippines except under a treaty duly concurred in the Senate. The last part hereof is with regard to the sequestration or freeze order concerning the recovery of ill-gotten wealth. Section 1. The first election of the members of the Congress under this Constitution shall be held on second Monday of May 1987. The first local election shall be held on the date to be determined by the President, which may be simultaneous with the election of the members of the Congress. It shall include the election of all members of the city or municipal council in the metropolitan Manila area. Section 2. The senators, members of the House of Representatives, and other local officials first elected under this Constitution shall serve until noon of June 30, 1992. Of the senators elected in the election of 1992, the first 12 obtaining the highest number of votes shall serve 6 years and the remaining 12 for 3 years. Section 3. All existing laws, decrees, executive order, proclamations, letters of instruction, and other executive issuance, other inconsistent with this Constitution, shall remain operative until amended, repealed, or revoked. Section 4. All existing treaties or international agreements which have been ratified shall not be renewed or extended without the concurrence of at least 2/3 of all members of the Senate. Section 5. The 6 terms of the incumbent President and Vice President elected in February 7, 1986 election is for purposes of synchronization of elections hereby extended to June 30, 1992. The first regular elections for the President and Vice President under this Constitution shall be held on second Monday of May 1992. Section 6. The incumbent President shall continue to exercise legislative powers until the first Congress is convened. Section 7. Until a law is passed, the President may fill by appointment from a list of nominees by the respective sectors the seats reserved for sectoral representation in paragraph 2, section 5 of Article 6 of this Constitution. Section 8. Till otherwise provided by the Congress, the President may continue the Metropolitan Authority to be composed of the heads of all local government units comprising the Metropolitan Manila area. Section 9. A sub-province shall continue to exist and operate until it is converted into a regular province or until its component municipalities are reverted to the mother province. Section 10. All courts existing all the time of the ratification of this Constitution shall continue to exercise their jurisdiction, otherwise provided by the law. The provision of the existing rules of court, judiciary acts, and procedural law not inconsistent with this Constitution shall remain operative unless amended or repealed by the Supreme Court or the Congress. Section 11. The incumbent member of the judiciary shall continue in office until they reach the age of 70 years or become incapacitated to discharge the duties of their office or are removed for cause. Section 12. The Supreme Court shall, within 1 year after the ratification of this Constitution, adopt a semantic plan to expedite the decision or resolution of cases or matter pending in the Supreme Court or the lower courts prior to the effectivity of this Constitution. A similar plan shall be adopted for all special courts and quasi-judicial bodies. Section 13. The legal effects of the lapse before the ratification of this Constitution of the applicable period for the decision or resolution for the cases or matters submitted for adjudication by the courts shall be determined by the Supreme Court as soon as practicable.
Continuation of Article 18. Section 14. The provision of paragraphs. Section 15 of Article 8 of this Constitution shall apply to cases or matters filed before the ratification of this Constitution, when the applicable period lapses after such ratification. Section 15. The incumbent members of the Civil Service Commission, the Commission on Election, and the Commission on Audit shall continue in office for 1 year after the ratification of this Constitution, unless they are sooner removed for cause or become incapacitated to discharge the duties of their office or appointment to a new term thereunder. In no way shall any member serve longer than 7 years, including service before ratification of this Constitution. Section 16. Career civil service employees separated from the service not for cause, but as a result of the reorganization pursuant to Proclamation Number 3, dated March 25, 1986, and the reorganization following the ratification of this Constitution shall be entitled to appropriate separation pay and to retirement and other benefits accruing to them under the law of general application in force at the time of their separation. At the option of the employees, they may be considered for employment in the government or any of its subdivision, instrumentalities or agencies, including government-owned or controlled corporation and their subsidiaries. This provision also applies to career officers whose resignation tendered in line with the existing policy has been accepted. Section 17. Until the Congress provides otherwise, the President shall receive an annual salary of 300,000 pesos. The Vice President, the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, 240,000 pesos each. The Senators, the members of the House of Representatives, the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, and the Chairman of the Constitutional Commission, 204,000 pesos each, and the member of the Constitutional Commission, 180,000 pesos each. Section 18. At least, at the earliest possible time, the government shall increase the salary scales of the other officials and employees of the national government. Section 19. All properties, records, equipment, buildings, facilities, and other assets of any office or body abolished or reorganized under Proclamation Number 3, date March 25, 1986 of this Constitution shall be transferred to the office or body to which its powers, function, and responsibilities substantially pertain. Section 8. The first Congress shall give priority to the determination of the period for the full implementation of pre-public secondary education. Section 21. The Congress shall provide efficacious procedures and adequate remedies for the reversion to the state of all lands of the public domain and real rights connected therewith were acquired in violation of the Constitution of the public and laws, or through corrupt practices. No transfer of disposition of such lands or real rights shall be allowed until after the lapse of 1 year from the ratification of this Constitution. Section 22. At the earliest possible time, the government shall expropriate idle or abandoned agricultural lands as may be defined by law, for distribution to the beneficiaries of the Agrarian Reform Program. Section 23. Advertising entities affected by paragraph. Section 11 of Article 16 of this Constitution shall have 5 years from its ratification to comply on a graduated and proportionate basis with the minimum Filipino of ownership requirement therein. Section 24. Private armies and other armed groups not recognized by duly constituted authority shall be dismantled. All paramilitary forces, including civilian home defense force not consistent with the citizen armed force established in this Constitution, shall be dissolved or, where appropriate, converted into the regular force. 25. After the expiration in 1991 of the agreement between the Republic of the Philippines and the United States of America concerning military bases, foreign military bases, troops, or facilities shall not be allowed in the Philippines except under a treaty duly concurred in by the Senate and, when the Congress so requires, ratified by a majority of the votes cast by the people in a national referendum held for that purpose, and recognized as a treaty by the other contracting state. 26. The authority to issue requisition on or place order under Proclamation No. 3 dated March 25, 1986 in relation to the recovery of ill-gotten wealth shall remain operative for not more than 18 months after the ratification of this Constitution. However, in the national interest as certified by the President, the Congress may extend such period. Section 27. This Constitution shall take effect immediately upon its ratification by a majority of votes cast in plebiscite held for the purpose, and shall supersede all previous Constitution.